Now friends, we shall see cross price elasticity of demand. What is meant by cross price elasticity? Price of the related goods and demand for the goods that has been purchased. If it is related or if it is compared, then we call it as a cross price elasticity. Let me be very clear. The demand for a particular commodity sometimes may change due to the change in the price of the related goods. Related goods, as I have already explained to you, they may be substitute goods or complementary goods. So the type of relationship between the change in the commodity that is originally bought because of the change in the substitute or complementary good is studied. The relationship is studied because of this. That is known as cross price elasticity of demand. Other things here are assumed to be the same. That is the price of the commodity which is in question and the income of the consumer. All these are considered to be the same. There is no change, as it is assumed to be the same. But whereas the change in the price of complementary or substitute goods influence on the demand of this particular good which was earlier purchased. That is only to be understood now. First one, let me take substitute products and demand of the existing product. Here, in case of substitute commodity, the cross demand curve always slopes upwards. That means it shows a positivity. Let me explain it with the figure given on figure 10 in page number 2.2. Now on the x-axis you have the commodity of tea purchased. On the y-axis you have the price of coffee. Now the price of coffee, when it is OP, the quantity demanded for tea was OQ1. Like when the price was OP for coffee, the quantity demanded was OQ1. But when the price of coffee, when it increased from P to P1, that is the price became OP1, the quantity of tea increased, buying of quantity of tea increased to OQ2. So what happens? The consumers are ready to buy more quantity of tea instead of buying coffee, as because the price of coffee has increased. Now this has been clearly shown by the curve DD sloping upwards. That is what it means, positivity there. So I hope you would have understood by the diagram now. So due to the operation of law of demand, the demand decreases when the price increases. When the coffee powder prices increases, the demand for coffee powder decreases. Instead, it increases the demand for the substitute product. So the curve slopes upward. Next, we move on to complementary goods. What is complementary goods? We have already explained that the two products goes along with one another. So the price of one may reduce or increase the price of the other also, because they both are purchased together. Now in the case of complementary, the change in price of a good will have an opposite reaction on the demand of the related or complementary product. Now say for example with the diagram in case of figure 11 in the page 2.43, let me explain to you. On the y-axis you have been given price of solar panels. Instead let me explain it with bread. Y is price of bread, whereas OX is the quantity of jam. Now when the price of bread was OP1, the quantity of jam that was purchased was OQ1. But when the price of bread increased to a position of P2, like OP2, what happened to the quantity? Jam purchased, it decreased to Q2. So there are 2 points now wherein OP2 meets OQ2 at a different point, whereas OP1 was able to meet OQ1 at a different point in the curve DD. Now you can see that the curve is sloping downwards, showing a negative slope, because whenever people see an increase in the complementary product, the main product purchase will also come down. This is what the effect of complementary product. So the cross price elasticity of demand between two goods measures the effect of change of one good's price on the quantity of the other goods. So here we consider the effect in change in relative price within a market on the pattern of demand. Percentage of change in the quantity demanded of good X divided by percentage of change in the price of good Y brings you elasticity of demand with respect to cross products. So we can represent it as EC. EC is equal to percentage of change in quantity of demanded of product X divided by percentage of change in price of product Y. The change in demand of one good due to change in price of another good is called as the elasticity of cross product of the former product for the later product. Symbolically, again, when we mathematically bring in an equation, let me first tell you the symbols that have been used. EC is equal to cross elasticity. QX is original quantity of commodity X. Delta QX is change in quantity demanded for commodity X. PY is original price of commodity Y. Delta PY is small change in the price Y. Therefore, EC is equal to delta QX divided by QX, the entire thing divided by delta PY divided by PY. That is equal to delta QX by delta PY into PY by QX. If X and Y are substitute, EC is positive. That is, the price increase in price of Y increases the demand for X and causes rightward shift of the demand curve. So closer the substitute, higher the elasticity of cross product. If they are perfect substitutes, then elasticity is infinitive. For close substitute, the elasticity is positive and large. For not close substitute, elasticity is still positive but small. For totally non-related product, elasticity is 0. If two goods are complementary, then the elasticity of cross demand is negative. That is, increase in price of one results in decrease in demand of the other. So demand curve shifts leftward. At the same time, size of EC tells us how strong the products are complementary to each other. If EC is less than 0, it is understood that they are weak complements. If EC, that is elasticity with regard to cross product, is negative, it's very high, so they are very strongly complementary. That is, if elasticity with cross product is positive, the goods are said to be substitutes. But at the same time, when elasticity of cross product is negative, we cannot say that they are complementary, because sometimes EC is also found when the income effect of the price change is very strong. So EC helps the business firm to make decision for price change of the products which are close substitutes or complements. If EC is greater than the 1, the firm will lose if they increase the prices of the product. But if they reduce the prices, they will have a gain in the income. So a cross price elasticity of demand is very important